Like I said, she's got a rep. A lot of prisoners here have lost their families to Ronan and his goons. She'll last a day, tops.
Now that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is in the rearview mirror, there's a mix of finality and hope for the future. While Volume 3 marks the end of James Gunn's run with the Guardians, the introduction of a new Guardians team in the movie's finale suggests there could be more adventures ahead. Gunn won't be back, as he's busy rebooting the DCU for Warner Brothers, but these characters are fan favorites, and when they're successful, they tend to stick around. So the big question is, will there be a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4? And if so, where will we see the Guardians next in the Marvel movies? Well, here's everything we know about the potential for another Guardians movie in the MCU. Marvel Studios has been expanding its trilogy into longer-running franchises as the MCU continues to evolve. For example, Thor: Love and Thunder made Thor the first solo MCU character to get 4 movies. Similarly, Captain America: New World Order and the upcoming Spider-Man 4 will keep this trend going. With the intriguing ending of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, there's a chance that Volume 4 could follow suit, even if James Gunn isn't involved and new team members step into lead roles. Updates about Guardians Volume 4 have been pretty scarce. James Gunn has hinted that a 4th installment might not be in the cards, and Marvel Studios hasn't officially announced the sequel yet. But that doesn't rule anything out at this stage. Marvel still has a lot of loose threads to tie up, like what's going on with Kang the Conqueror, the whereabouts of the X-Men in the Earth 616 universe, and whether the Cavalrine we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine is from Earth 616. There are also pressing questions about why Thor was crying over Deadpool in Deadpool and Wolverine, and the fate of the new characters introduced in other MCU movies and TV shows who haven't yet been given their own projects or sequels. But for now, let's focus on where we might see the Guardians next in the Marvel movies. One possible answer could be Avengers Doomsday. With the news that a variant of Doctor Doom will appear in Doomsday, and considering the intriguing twist where Robert Downey Jr.'s version of Doctor Doom will be involved in taking down all the other Doom variants in a secret timeline, it sets the stage for some epic confrontations. In this scenario, we might see a lot of heroes battling it out to save their universes, and it's likely that the new Guardians of the Galaxy team will be among them, coming to Earth to help fend off the impending threat. Following this, Avengers Secret Wars could be where we see the new Guardians of the Galaxy team going up against Doctor Doom in the Void after their epic battle on Earth. This would be an exciting way to continue the story and see how the new team handles the challenges ahead. That said, Avengers Doomsday isn't the only place we might see the new Guardians team. They could also make an appearance in MCU Spider-Man 4. There's been some drama between Marvel and Sony over the direction of Spider-Man's next movie. Sony is pushing for another multiverse storyline like the last one, while Marvel wants to keep things simpler, allowing Spider-Man to find some peace after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. Once the dust settles on this debate, we'll get a clearer picture of Spider-Man's future. But how will the new Guardians team fit in? You might remember that end credits line from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the legendary Star-Lord will return. While it's unclear exactly how, when, or where Chris Pratt Star-Lord will come back, this confirms that audiences haven't seen the last of him. The legendary Star-Lord title hints at potential solo adventures based on the comics. Marvel's confirmation that Star-Lord will return suggests they have some plans for him. This could mean a role in Avengers Doomsday or Avengers Secret Wars. There's also the possibility that he might show up in the Nova solo project that's in development, or even make a surprise return in Guardians 4. Another option could be a solo movie or Disney Plus series focusing on the legendary Star-Lord. But it's also possible that Star-Lord could end up helping Spider-Man in Spider-Man 4. Since he's on Earth and trying to live a peaceful life, it makes sense that their paths might cross in some dramatic way. Spider-Man 4 might include the Venom suit storyline, which could take over Peter Parker's body and add another layer of drama to his already challenging life following No Way Home. If this crossover happens, it would be interesting to see how Star-Lord, with his unique set of skills and experience, could assist Spider-Man in dealing with the chaos that the Venom suit brings. This could create some exciting new dynamics and bring a fresh twist to Spider-Man's story as he navigates this new threat with unexpected help from the Guardians' former leader. There's a good chance Mantis will make a return to the MCU after Guardians Volume 3. The movie wraps up her storyline with her deciding to leave the Guardians to figure out her true self. After working for Ego and then with the Guardians, Mantis hasn't had much chance to make her own choices. With the 3 obelisks in tow, she might be off the radar for a while, but there's plenty of potential for her to reappear in future MCU projects. Nebula's return is also a possibility following Volume 3. She leaves the team to help transform Nowhere into a home she never had as a child. Given her strong connections with Rocket and the Guardians, it's likely we'll see her again. Whether it's in Guardians 4 or in another project where Rocket's new team appears, Nebula's story isn't finished just because she's stepping back from the main roster. Her future in the MCU remains promising and full of potential. On a less optimistic note, it seems unlikely that Gamora will be one of the Guardians' characters returning to the MCU. In Volume 3, she decides not to rejoin the team or be with Peter Quill and instead returns to the Ravagers. While this leaves the possibility open for her to come back, Zoe Saldana has mentioned that she's done with the role. Gamora was originally supposed to die in Volume 2, and after her death in Avengers Infinity War and her return via time travel in Avengers Endgame, Guardians Volume 3 is likely her final appearance in the MCU. It's also looking like Drax might not make a return to the MCU, despite the open-ended way Guardians Volume 3 wraps up his storyline. In the film, he stays on Nowhere to take on a fatherly role for the kids the team saved from the High Evolutionary. Although his connection with Phyla Vell offers a potential way to bring him back, Dave Bautista has been clear that he's done with the role. He's even open to the idea of Marvel recasting Drax, which could be a way to keep the character in the franchise. However, this could be a risky move for Marvel, so it's looking more likely that this might be the end of Drax's journey in the MCU. That said, who knows? We might still see all the old Guardians members in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars fighting in the void alongside their new team led by Rocket Raccoon. It's definitely a possibility that Rocket will lead the charge with the new team, and seeing the old crew back in action could be a thrilling twist. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. What do you think? Will we see the old Guardians back in action alongside the new team in Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars? Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.